Some anime unravel a single mystery over the course of the storyline. It makes ridiculous plot hole, which rank among the most overused rising power levels, and unpredictable story points. A betrayal of a good classic themes of anime is probably the most efficient way to shock and amaze viewers when it comes to the element of surprise. Before this started, don't forget to subscribe and share this video to all your friends who interested with shocking anime moments. Keeping watching this video and stay awesome. Let's go! Tomodachi Game. If you like mystery and suspense anime, Tomodachi Game is worthy to watch. When the money for the next school trip is stolen, the person who has been tasked with collecting the money has to be far behind the rest of the class. High school student Yuichi Katagiri with his close 4 classmates are trapped variety of psychological games. After waking up, the group finds themselves locked in a white room with controversial character called Manabu-kun. They have to participate in many games and clear their personal debt. On their way they experience some difficulties that puts their friendship and humanity to the test. Distressed and isolated from the outside world, Yuichi and his friends must work together to complete the games. They're manipulative people who intentionally cause harm to others without any sense of remorse. But when their hidden feelings and troubled past begin to surface, their seemingly unbreakable relationship could soon fall apart into irreparable. Summertime rendering. The main character is named Shinpei, who returns from overseas. Then he finds something off with his little best friend dies, especially someone he loved. Bruises found around Ushio's neck, and his friends claims before Ushio died they had both seen a clone of herself. Suspecting a mysterious murder has taken place, Shinpei re-evaluated the recent events, but strange incidents continued to occur. It was connected to old folklore that refers to an entity called the Shadow Sickness, which is a supernatural event that hidden by the inhabitants of Hidogashima Island. Thankfully, Shinpei has the ability with his badass eyes who able to turn back the time in the several moments before he dies. Facing the dark side of the island, he and his squads must work together to be able to arrange the future again, preventing the apocalypse from happening on the island of Hidogashima. I'm quitting heroing. Leo Demonheart, a strongest hero, had betrayed by his own kingdom and all of humankind. The false rumor being spreads that Leo is dangerous bioweapon. This could eventually cause the doom of humanity. Everyone is feared by his overwhelming strength and believes that he will be the next demon king in short time. Banished from all that cruel situations, Leo wanders carelessly the land until one day he hears a rumor that Echidna, the demon queen, is trying to rebuild his army. He decided to apply this position and finding a new purpose. However, the offer was immediately rejected by Echidna, because Leo has thwarted all of plans to begin her invasion to finding a new natural resource called Philosopher's Stone. After hearing his true purpose, the Elite Four decided to give a chance, working under their supervision, without Echidna knowledge. Leo's supposed to be undercover his identity from Echidna with mask as a Black Knight Onyx. He was working hard to fix Demon King problems, one by one without missing anything. He also wants to create his new goal after retiring as a hero, making a bridge between humans and the creatures of the underworld or living coexist, to finding peacefully without war. Uncle from Another World. Tells the story of Takafumi's uncle, after a fatal injury with a truck and is unconscious for 17 years. But meanwhile, during that incident, he finally reborn that had been transferred into magical world as Grand Baamal. At first the uncle's story was just bullshit, but it turned out that after proving it to be true, Takafumi extremely surprised and delighted to hear his uncle's story. Thankfully, for the magical hologram that was created as a result of the spell that had to visualize every uncle memory, it's like watching a coexistence journal. The uncle suffered a variety of forms of torture in the isekai world. Because of his ugly face, he was frequently hunted and imprisoned by the local inhabitants. He was classified as a monster or ogre, which is believed to cause bad luck to humankind. You'll laugh as you consider how he manages to survive to all the ridiculous challenges. He frequently makes choices that favor himself above others. The 90s console war is the only kind of knowledge that is what carries his life. In a good way, although he never reveals himself, the uncle is a wise man who constantly being a savior like a hero. Usama ranking. The child prince Boji, who is deaf and speech impaired, is despised by the citizens of the kingdom. They mock at his alleged folly, calling him the useless prince, but he struggled and never giving up of becoming the greatest of kings. An provocative incident in the first arc of the series is the death of Boji's father, King Base, a legendary giant warrior who was widely known as the world's strongest man in his prime. Base's deathbed identified Boji's right to become his successor, but the court finds that Boji's physical imperfections make him unfit to rule. Some people are believing that his arrogant, but physically strong, younger half-brother Prince Daida is more suitable for the throne. The odd relationship between Kage and Boji serves as the foundation for the future prince's quest to conquer his fear and anxiety. The story follows the pair as they navigate the world and all of its adventures and darkness. Despite facing constant provocation, Boji is determined to fulfill his wish to become the proper king more better than his father. The world of Otome games, trapped in dating simulator. After being reborn into alternative world of the previously finished Otome game, Leo Barford became aware of the unfairness in the world, particularly as it related into wealth and throne. Leo secured funding from the nobility after being reincarnated as the third child of an underprivileged family. When he was an adult, he had to go through a political marriage with an aristocratic family that had an unattractive appearance. He looked at numerous solutions by using his prior recollections of the Otome game, until Luxian's arrival, when his life started to change. He was only a supporting figure when he first arrived at Halford School, meaningless to people around him. On a single hands this really is most beneficial if he is winning, cause he's a taskmaster with the ability to improvise, adapt, and manipulate to solve as many different issues as he possibly can. The deuteragonist of the plot is Luxian, who also is an important element of the major events of the series. It keeps an eye on all of Leon and makes preparations in advance to make sure that everyone has the skills they need to support Leon. The Rift, Time and Space. As a mangaka artist who is totally obsessed with heroic stories, Lin Yifan is the main protagonist in this anime. One of Squad had chosen people step forward to fight and protect the world from monster invading. He is suddenly transported into a supernatural events, enters another realm, and transformed into the heroic character that he imagined for the manga. Due to Li Yifan's extreme weakness and lack of expertise in comparison to the others, Geely was disappointed when he was selected him as the chosen ones. As a result, he attempted a variety of methods to get gone of him, including planning to give him consumed poison tablets to terminate his life. Yifan was put in danger at every turn, and Geely was to blame for everything. However, Yifan was destined to have unlimited fortune, thus all of Geely's strategies were doomed to failure. As time goes on, he's getting more stronger and able to maximize the potential of Excalibur's sword, for sure that he can work well together in his group. Li Yifan would prove to be the most powerful chosen one and he deserved to be a reliable hero. Vampire in the Garden. During a winter long ago, near immortal vampires began to torment the world. Desperate to avoid extinction, the survivors gather in their last refuge, a small town surrounded by a giant wall. They have been at war with vampires for many years. In the midst of a particularly brutal vampire attack, a human soldier named Momo encounters Fine, the queen of their enemies. After seeing her trying to save Momo's best friend from a bloodthirsty vampire, Momo follows Fine to her house. They have a good relationship in the short time, share each other's experience for music and desire to escape the fighting. Pursuing this escape goal, the two decide to travel to a paradise believed to be where humans and vampires coexist called Eden. However, Momo and Fine are targets by both of their races, who they must avoid first if they hope to reach the finish line in one peaceful life. Attack on Titan, the final season part 2. After revealed the truth about Paradise Island, Eren wanted to destroy mankind on Earth, and he must move forward to reach his own purpose, despite having to betray everyone including his own friends. Under the path of Beast Titan, Eren takes extreme measures to end the old conflict between Marley and Eldia. Mikasa and the others enter the fight in an attempt to save their friend's soul, although all disturbed happen by Eren's monstrous transformation. It also revealed, behind saddest stories about the origin of Titan, Ymir Fritz was a slave of the Eldian king and being the first Titan in the world. With her newfound power, Ymir returned to serve King Fritz and used her Titan to seeking the personal gain and amass wealth for the Eldians. She was trying to find freedom with sacrifice herself by die to protecting the king. But it wasn't ended, her powers then split into what eventually became known as the Nine Titan. She was transported into Realm World being coordinate and waiting for the Royal Bloods to sought the power of Founding Titan. Sword Art Online Progressive Aria of a Starless Night. Refresh version of From Sword Art Online movie, following the original story from Asuna's side. In a cruel twist of fate, Asuna, Mito, and every other player logged into Sword Art Online find themselves trapped in the game permanently. An anxious expression appeared on Asuna's face as she began to panic, but Mito faced up a reality and attempted to calm her down. Mito had enough experience in the game and one of beta tester participants. Asuna and Mito harmonized to participate became party game, to present their seriousness and teamwork. Until the moment of surprise against the Little Nepenthes. Mito suddenly fell down from the top of the hill while she had chased a legendary item. A Little Nepenthes attacked in group, that Asuna struggled in alone to deal with them. Before she breathing a sigh of relief, Asuna meets a big trouble again, the giant Antrosaur suddenly entranced in front of her. Misfortune that Mito to leave the party, she couldn't save Asuna that considered to run and save herself. Asuna seemed disappointed that surrendering to this situation, and her health bar nearing by death. A miracle happened, a young man had came such a splendid fighter with wielding a sword, as we know he's Kirito. Counting down from there, their chemistry arises between Kirito and Asuna, although Asuna ignored him at first. With Kirito, Asuna is much tougher and play stronger character more than when she was with Mito's side.